Hey guys, I know there was no sound, sorry. So, looks like.
Hey guys.
Oh, shoot, I need to turn on my phone. Sorry, I have my chat open on my phone. So, we're going to try something a little bit different. I don't know how well it's going to work out doing it live, but because it's not a recorded presentation, let me see if. Okay. So, how are you guys doing? Well, thank you, Carrie. Hey, Jenny Penny. Hey, Jen P. Hey, Pepsi-Cola. Don't be mad, but did you see this picture of, oh shoot, do I have it? I don't have it up, or I don't have it ready. Where would the picture be? I was going to show the picture again of the pup with the Diet Coke, but I don't know. I'm not going to search for it right now. It was cute though. Hey, Wendy. Hey, Tawanda. So I'm just going to go ahead and just keep the mods that we have right now, I guess, since I forgot to delete anyways. Yeah, her murder is unsolved. She was 32 years old. Let's see. And yeah, she was, her body was found, but eventually, sorry, I'm brushing my hair. Yeah, getting her so fixed. She's the sweetest. Well, she's definitely something, that's for sure. Hey, Kalua's mom. Hey, everybody. I don't want anybody to think I forgot them. We are still doing the no creator bashing, okay? So any creator bashing, even if it's like, even if it's Tiffany, just delete it. You don't have to time them out, unless it's just ridiculous. It's okay, lip block. It's totally fine. I know it's late. I was working on this and I almost didn't do this tonight because I do have an appointment kind of early in the morning. No creator bashing unless it's me, says Heidi. Yeah, it's it's been a while. 1980, 1980, was it 1980 or 84? That we'll go over that all. I have it all here in this presentation. But right now, I just gonna talk with you guys for like 20 minutes or so before we start. Soon we're gonna have a bash fest. Well, hey, Smiley Story, and you don't know this one at all, Jen P. Yeah, me either. I didn't know it, but I just kind of picked one and went with it. I am going to do something like this probably on some more like well-known cases. Really, Brenda? We could do even something like that. Like I was saying yesterday, if anybody has any cases that they want me to cover, I might do it differently than this because we're going to see how this one specifically goes. And if it doesn't work out the way I want, then I might like pre-record the present or the video or whatever you want to call it, presentation or whatever. And then, do a premiere type thing and then do a live afterwards and talk about it. But if anybody has any cases they want me to cover that they, you can send me a bullet point list of things about the case and links and pictures or whatever you think should be shared. But I'll put together the presentation. Don't worry about that, but unless you wanted to. She was from California. Stanton, California. Or Anaheim. It's all in here. You became a grandma at 35. My grandkids call me Grammy. Being a Grammy is the best. Dang. 35. 2 abductors on the Amber Alert. Terry Reed. So I think I got a notification that somebody emailed me about that, or either that or it popped up on my phone. Let's see. I think Wendy sent me an Amber Alert. Okay, so I'll show this. Thank you, Wendy, for sending this to me if you're here right now. While we wait for some people to come in here, then we'll just talk about whatever you guys want. Oh, I guess I could go ahead and talk about something interesting too here in a second about the Summer Wells case that somebody noticed that they emailed me about that is actually quite interesting. That's never been pointed out before. So there's an Amber Alert missing from Tampa, Florida, Hillsborough County. The abductors are Cammie George and Matthew Layton. They're traveling in a Toyota Camry 2010. Looks like it's like a reddish color with tag numbers LBEZ 01. Okay, so that's the tag. Florida tags. This type of vehicle, it's kind of squashed looking. So it's a Toyota Camry, though, 2010. So this is a Florida Amber Alert has been issued for Terry Reed, last seen in the area of 4100 North McDill Avenue in Tampa, who was last seen wearing a blue pullover shirt, blue sweatpants, and gray shoes. The child may be in the company of Cammie George and Matthew Layton. Matthew has a short beard. They may be traveling in a 2010 red Toyota Camry, Florida tag number LBEZ01. The vehicle has visible damage to the passenger side door. If located, do not approach. Contact law enforcement immediately. And if you have any information concerning the whereabouts of this missing child, please contact Tampa Police Department at 813-231-6130. Somebody is saying they were all found safe. So is that true? Okay. So never mind on that one. But that is great news, obviously. So I got an email. I don't know if they want me to say who they are, though. It doesn't say. It says their real name, but I don't know if they're Kristen S. Is this you that emailed me? I don't think this is Kristen S. Okay, good. That's great news. They were found safe. Hey, Breeze. Okay, so it wasn't Kristen S., but I was emailed about a possible link between 423 Chase, aka Brad, and it is a link actually between 423 Chase and Reverend Donna Serafina's reading for the Summer Wells case. So I'll just like read the email how they said it. Wow. Okay. So I'm just going to read it how it is stated. On your live where the man from the billboard company came on and explained all he had to do to get Christie's $4,000 back from Chase. He mentioned how Chase had him go to the bank in the Eastman Company, which I think is for their employees, trying to get them to cash out his PayPal account. When they wouldn't do it, the man asked Brad if he had an account there. He said no. So why is it that he insists on going to the bank in the Eastman plant instead of going to his own bank, which would have been closer, easier, and make more sense? And in Reverend Donna Serafina's last reading, she talked about the higher ups at the company maybe being involved. Could Chase have been trying to get the money from them to pay Christie's money back to the billboard company? Just a thought. So that is interesting. That is an interesting connection. That Chase, the guy that came on from the billboard company that just ended up in our chat and came up on the panel, had mentioned that Chase went into Eastman's bank, didn't he? Is that true what this lady's saying? Okay, so it's Eastman Credit Union. We have many of the credit union. Okay, so maybe that is it. So that was something that somebody sent me that I just was reading. So never mind on that too, because if there's many Eastman credit unions, then I was thinking that she was saying it was inside the actual Eastman's plant. Did he say that they went inside the Eastman plant though? Or was it? Yeah, they did say they didn't get the money, that it was a bust, but. I still swear that Chase was twisting a toothpick in one of Benny's videos. My brain didn't make that up. Yeah, somebody else said that too. Yeah, I am. Lady CG, that's true. Sometimes. Tawanda said, I remember that too. You're not making it up. Did they say how tall he was? Who? Sarah Meme. Yeah, we don't know unless we ask. So I guess unless in that video or in that live I did with Devery when he came up on the panel, unless he said they went to Eastman's plant, then I don't know if that would be of any, would mean anything. So you believe they were at the restaurant together? Wait, who was at the? I heard Athena is a smidge taller than him. Just something I heard, says Jenny Penny. I noticed as much. Chase had little itty bitty feet. Yeah, the reason, yeah, that came from Autumn. That came from Donna Serafina's reading. She said she was seeing a guy like with a toothpick. Like he kept moving it in his mouth from one side to the other. He was just like playing it around with it in his mouth. So that was the one when him and Benny were together. The toothpick, I think. Yes. Yes. Okay. So now I know what you mean by the restaurant thing. I swear I saw Andrew with one on Benny's one day too. Wow. That would be interesting to know for sure or to see. See, it's not just me who thinks like that, says Sarah Me. Okay. A replay of the Oh my gosh. Devery, he came up like I wish it would let me. How long ago was that? And I think it would have been. Oh, here's the panel, or here's the live right here.
You followed the math. There should have been like 25 or whatever.
Oh, I mean,
$100
yeah,
left
he
out
was
there.
gonna.
Oh God, I can't hear her. I cannot listen to her voice. I'm sorry. Please. Sorry. Let's see. When did he come up? He was on for a couple hours. So I don't know if that would be.
Gotcha. I gotcha. I'm learning.
Hey, well, I didn't know at first. I wondered if you were a troll, and because a lot of people claim to be, different people on here, and they're not actually who they say they.
Yeah, he's on there for a few hours. Thank you. Agree to disagree. Oh yes, happy birthday to Blanca. Today is her birthday. Did somebody say call up Devery? I don't have his phone number. It was yeah. So, yes, happy birthday. Donna talked about different funeral homes, and she talked about the strange sign, but couldn't figure out. Yeah, she mentioned that she saw the putt place. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and start on this. Let me pull up the comments on my phone because I might not be able to. I'm not going to be able to see the comments. Oh, wait. Oh, Autumn Renee said, happy birthday, Blanca. Oh, thank you, Bobby Lynn. Okay, so just know while I'm doing this, I will stop every once in a while probably and to look at the chat, but otherwise it's going to distract me. So this is on the unsolved disappearance and murder of Dorothy Scott. So Dorothy was born on April 23rd, 1948 in Anaheim, California, and her parents were named Vera and Jacob Scott. She gave birth to her son, Sean, in 1976. And she was actually a single mother because the father, Dennis Terry, he lived in Missouri and he just was never really around. The year when she was killed in 1980, she was 32 years old and her son was 4. And at that time, and for a while, she was living with her aunt in Stanton, California. And here to the right is obviously her picture when she was a little bit younger. So she actually worked as a secretary at 2 different like head shop type places. One was called Swingers and the other was called Custom John's. Her father actually co-owned the Swingers, and he had sold it at one point, or he had sold it at some point, and she continued to still work there. So she worked at a family-owned business. While she was working, she would drop her son off over at her parents' house. She worked all the time. She was trying to build a life for herself and for her son, and her son was her world. And she was typically a person that would stay to herself. So she didn't have like a social life. And that's really important for this story because in determining like what happened with her, and you'll see why. She never went out, didn't really date. So in the early months of 1980, Dorothy started receiving some weird phone calls. It was always the same man, and in some of these phone calls, this man would be confessing his love to Dorothy, and then at other times he would be threatening to murder her. Sometimes during the phone calls, the man would talk in great detail about what he would do to her by dismembering her so nobody would find her. And he would also tell her things like what she was doing that day or what she was wearing. He would say those kind of things to try to scare her. So at one point, he called and told her to look outside, and she noticed when she looked out there that there was a dead rose placed on the windshield of her vehicle. So the calls were continuing and continued for so long and were so intense that Dorothy started taking up self-defense lessons in karate. She also talked about buying a firearm, but never got around to it because she had always been against guns and was afraid to have one at the place where she also had her young 4-year-old son. So on May 28th, 1980, which is the day of her disappearance, there was an employee meeting at her work. And while she was there, she noticed that her coworker, his name was Conrad, was not feeling well that day. And he actually had a spot on his arm that looked really nasty. So she had convinced him to go to the emergency room. So at that point, she left the meeting and she left to take her coworker Conrad to the hospital, and also their coworker Pam Head also came with. Before they got to the hospital, they decided to stop by Dorothy's parents because, like I said before, her son was always left. She always dropped off her son at her parents' house every time she went to work. So she went by there just to like check in and let them know, like, hey, I'm going to take my coworker to the hospital, you know. And while she was there, and this is important to note too, she changed from like a black, like grayish scarf into a red scarf. So while this appointment, it wasn't really an appointment, but this, they were there all day waiting and all evening waiting, and they just like talked and read magazines, and you know, Pam was around Dorothy the whole day. So at 11 p.m., her co-worker Conrad was discharged, and while Conrad and Pam, so her co-workers, went and filled the prescription because there was an in-hospital pharmacy, Dorothy told them that she would go get the vehicle and she would pull up and pick them up at the front. So they were waiting for Dorothy at the front by the door, and she herself never showed up, but they did see her vehicle pass by. And actually, the vehicle came towards them, and they could not see who was driving because the beams of the light like blinded them, and the car actually swerved to miss Pam and Conrad. They didn't know what happened with her, or like they were like, you know, of course freaked out about like, what the hell is going on here? You know, she just totally passed us and didn't stop to pick us up. So they thought maybe like there was an emergency. At least this is what they were saying. So they thought there was an emergency where she possibly had to go do something real quick and she would come back, but they waited for 2 hours and she did not return. So coworkers Pam and Conrad, after waiting for 2 hours, first told security what had happened, like after waiting. And then they contacted her parents to ask if they had seen her. And when they had not seen her, that's when they decided to call the police. And this is an example of her vehicle. This was a Toyota station wagon, or let me make sure. I'm not sure what kind of, it was a station wagon. It might have been, I think it's a Volkswagen. I'll let you guys know on that for sure because I forget at the moment. So when they first called the police, like they didn't take it seriously because she was an adult and they figured like she just took off. She's an adult. She can go wherever she wants. But it wasn't until like 4 to 5 hours later at 4:30 to 5 a.m. when police were called to a scene of a vehicle that was engulfed in flames that they were like, okay, there's some type of foul play involved and something's going on. So a week after Dorothy went missing, her mother received a call from a man that asked if she was Vera and just stated that he had her daughter and he hung up. So yeah, Vera is Dorothy's mother. they started receiving phone calls from this assailant. And police were contacted about the call. And when she called, the police asked her not to share any information about the calls or the disappearance of their daughter because they did not want it to hurt the investigation. However, Dorothy's father got fed up of no movement in the case, and so he decided to go ahead and contact the Register newspaper and had them place an ad. And he was offering a $2,500 reward for any answers. And here's the article right here to the right. It says, reward offered by parents of missing woman. The parents of Dorothy Jane Scott have given up. They feel their 32-year-old daughter is dead, and they will pay $2,500 for information leading to her body, or if by some chance she is still alive, for information leading to her whereabouts. So on the day of that article that was published, Pat Riley, the editor, received a call from an anonymous call from a man that admitted he killed Dorothy, and he said he did this because she cheated on him with another man. This happened the same day that the article was published. In the call with the editor, the man knew details that most wouldn't. He knew that Dorothy was wearing a red scarf, which is significant because she and her co-workers stopped by her parents' house before the hospital, and she changed from the black to red scarf. So that's why I was saying that it was important little tidbit, is because he knew she changed scarves. One thing, though, is that the man on the phone claimed that Dorothy called him while she was at the hospital waiting on the coworker. But an interesting fact about this is that Pam, who was sitting with her the whole time, claims that, she never saw him make a phone call. In those days, like, you had to use a payphone. There was no cell phones where you could go hide in a bathroom and call or, go. It didn't work like that. So one other thing, though, that the man knew that called, when he called the editor of the newspaper, he knew about Conrad's spider bite and that Dorothy had taken him to the hospital, the UCI Medical Center. So here is an article. It says, story prompts anonymous call. And this is when the assailant calls the newspaper, the Register. And so in this, it says, details provided by the caller. Thursday's story provided details of the clothing worn by Miss Scott, nor did it, I don't know, I can't read it. The caller said that he met, but right here it says, the caller said he met Miss Scott at the medical center and asked her about another man. He said that she denied being involved with any other man, but he insisted she was. He indicated to Riley, which was the editor, that he had pictures to prove his claim. On one occasion, this person that called the editor said she was my love. And on two occasions, he said I killed her. So it continues to say that Mrs. Scott's parents, Jacob and Vera Scott of Anaheim, have cooperated with state police assigned to UCI for 2 weeks, keeping the disappearance quiet in hopes the abductor would call to make a demand or release Scott. That article was kind of blurry, so. But that is, obviously the whole thing that the assailant was saying, like she was contacting him at the hospital and stuff is real sketchy because nobody saw her making any phone calls. And also nobody knew of her dating anybody. So possible suspects, like everybody always first goes to the who was she dating, or, past lovers, the closest to her. But the father of her son, Sean, was actually ruled out because he had an alibi and he was in Missouri. All of Dorothy's coworkers were questioned many times and were ruled out as suspects, and the cops felt it was very unlikely it was a customer who abducted Dorothy because she was always in the back office, and it was unlikely a customer would really see her that often. So almost every week on Wednesday afternoon, the assailant would call Dorothy's mother at home and would say, "I got her," or "Where is Dorothy?" or "Is Dorothy there?" Or he sometimes would say, "I killed her." It was, a game to him. The police did set up recording devices to try to catch him, but nobody recognized the voice. And it's also possible that he was using he was trying to alter his voice or change it in some way. The police also many times tried to trace the call, but they were never ever quite able to catch him because he would not stay on the phone long enough. If you guys can think, this was 1980, and back then you had to be on the call they needed him to stay on the call longer so they could trace where he was at. So it was in April of 1984 that he called one time, but this time Dorothy's father answered and the suspect didn't say anything. And then it was a long time before he actually called them ever again. Because before that instance, when the father answered, it was always Dorothy's mother who answered the phone. So on the 6th of August of 1984, construction workers found human and dog bones about 30 feet from Santa Ana Canyon Road in Anaheim, California. The bones of the dog and human were laying side by side. So whoever dumped her put a dog right on top of her, a dead dog, or bones, dead or dog bones. This was 4 years after. Yeah, it was 4 years after she went missing. So experts say that when the bones were found, they had been there for about 2 years and that they were not able to tell if foul play was involved or what the cause of death was. The body was found with a turquoise ring and a watch that was stopped at May 29th, 1980 at 12:30 a.m., which was the day that Dorothy disappeared. That is so crazy. Her body was found with her watch, which was stopped at May 29th, 1980. She disappeared, if you remember, May 28th, but it was really late at night because you remember the worker was discharged at 11 p.m. So her watch was stopped just 1.5 hours after her co-worker was discharged. So it seems I don't know why her watch was stopped at that exact point, but that is crazy. Dorothy Scott's remains were identified by the use of dental records, and her mother was also able to identify the jewelry that she was wearing. So here the caller calls 2 more times after her remains were found. So here it says, Dorothy Scott's parents say man keeps 4-year anguish alive. The parents of Stanton woman, whose remains recently were found, said they believe 2 phone calls to their home this past week were from the man who has claimed for the past 4 years that he killed their daughter. Jacob and Vera Scott of Anaheim said they were at a mortuary Wednesday afternoon tending to funeral arrangements for their daughter, Dorothy Jane Scott, 32, when a man telephoned the family home twice. Each time he asked the Scott's son, Alan, "Is Dorothy home?" Jacob Scott said. A man had called the home almost every Wednesday afternoon since his daughter disappeared May 28, 1980, from the parking lot of UCI Medical Center, Scott said. The call stopped 3.5 months ago. Scott, 60, said his wife generally was home to answer the phone, and the caller would ask, "Is Dorothy home?" Or he would say he killed her. Scott said the call stopped after he, not his 57-year-old wife, answered a rare nighttime call from the man and told him he dialed a wrong number. The caller may have thought the family had moved or changed the phone number, Scott said. After the family was notified last week that some remains found August 6 in a bushy area of northeast Anaheim belonged to Dorothy Scott, and news reports released the information, 2 calls were received, apparently from the same man, the father said. "I'm afraid that we're dealing with a person who is really sick," Scott said Sunday. "Why should they keep the family's anguish over Dorothy's death, alive?" So here we're going to get into some possible theories and like speculations of what could have possibly happened to Dorothy Scott. Here pictured is Mike Butler to the right. So some claim Mike Butler was obsessed with Dorothy. Sorry. And here, let me go ahead and put these all up here, and I'll just. Actually, speculation says possibly Mike Butler, who was possibly involved in some cult activities, was the brother of a co-worker of Dorothy. So this man's sister worked with Dorothy at one of her jobs. And it is said that he was obsessed with her. It is also said that he was very mentally unstable. And actually, Dorothy's son, Sean, believes that this man is the killer. And it is said that Mike was, he is, the father of Dorothy knew who Mike was, and that there might be a reason that when Dorothy's father answered the phone, that he hung up, because the 2 men knew each other. So this man here knew Dorothy's father, and some think that's possibly why he hung up the phone when Dorothy's father answered instead of her mother, Vera. So another theory that has gone around possibly is that the Golden State Killer isn't responsible for her disappearance and murder. The suspect involved in Dorothy's disappearance stalked Dorothy similarly to how the Golden State Killer stalked his victims. Golden State Killer would also contact newspapers and tell them, similar things to what the suspect in this case would do or did. Golden State Killer also was one to contact victims' family and torment them. But here's a couple things that say possibly, Golden State Killer doesn't really fit, because in this case, the suspect would tell Dorothy he loved her all the time. He would tell, how much in love he was with her, but the Golden State Killer didn't do that at all. That's not a character trait of him. The Golden State Killer killed victims at home and not in the manner Dorothy was killed. So Dorothy was actually taken from a location, and we don't know, her manner of death was never determined, but the Golden State Killer would kill his victims in their home. So here is the relationship theory. Some people believe that Dorothy could have been in a secret relationship that nobody knew about. However, Dorothy worked long hours, and it just doesn't make sense that she would have time for that, because she worked 2 jobs at one point, and she was trying to make, money to take care of her son, and she had a very boring life. It was work, church, work, home, church, work, home, like every day. Her friends always described her as very boring and dull. Like, wasn't very nice things to say about her, say she was boring, but she just was very responsible, and she didn't have like much of a social life. Dorothy lived with her aunt, so you would think that her aunt would have known, like, if she was dating somebody. She could have kept it quiet, but like, she always knew when Dorothy would come and go. Her parents also knew nothing of any dating relationship. Remember, her parents watched her son every time that she worked, and they were watching her son the day that she had that employee meeting. So the last theory I think I have here is the coworker theory. Could it be possible that Conrad and Pam set Dorothy up in some way? Why did Pam, the coworker, go along? I mean, why did she need to go along? Which, some people think, well, maybe she was possibly trying to get out of the employee meeting. But it didn't really make sense. It only took the one person to take him to the hospital. Could there have been anything going on between Pam and Conrad, or Conrad and Pam? Was there like a love triangle or something? Was Pam jealous? Was there something going on with this coworker, with one of the 2 ladies? Is that why Pam went along, because she was jealous, or what? So they claim to have stayed at the hospital waiting for her return for 2 hours, but they could have possibly left. So before anything was reported to anybody, like the security at the hospital, or before they called her parents, they stayed at the hospital for 2 hours waiting for her, thinking that she would come back. But, she never returned. After 2 hours is when they finally decided to let security know what had happened, and then call the parents and ask if they had heard from her. And then is when they called the police. So the case is still unsolved today, and Dorothy's parents have died, and died with no type of closure. The father died in 1994, and her mother died in 2002. So that is the end of my presentation on Dorothy. So has anybody here like seen or ever looked into this case or heard of it? I wouldn't wait for 2 hours while I watch my ride leave. I don't know. I wonder if they just thought like it was so out of character and that, you know, it just seemed like, oh, well, the way she was like speeding out. It was weird too, because when she left the hospital area, that, or whoever it was driving the vehicle left, they veered to, you know, miss the coworkers, but they kind of rushed out of the parking lot, and then they turned off their headlights once they got to the road, and then they turned right out of the hospital. Josh said it's the first case he did on his podcast. Oh, really? Does he have it up still? Let me look and see if I can find it real quick. Oh, I don't see it.
They are, so.
Oops, didn't mean to do that. The coworker's story seems kind of sus. Yeah, I think so too, Esther. And because it could have been an elaborate, but he did have really something going on. He was bit by a black widow. So there really was something going on, but could, you know, it doesn't seem like it would have been something that was planned unless they used that whole going to the hospital thing. But they made it seem like Dorothy was the one that volunteered to take Conrad to the hospital. He said he did. He said it a while ago on an old podcast. I forget what he said the name of it was. I could have just ripped off Josh's video and took the day off. Did the stalker have an alibi? Well, they never found the stalker. The stalker and the killer are I would think, the same person. This guy, like, back then you didn't have like cell phones, and he must have really, maybe he got jealous. That's probably what happened. Just like he told the newspaper, oh, she was cheating on me. That's what he told the newspaper editor. He said that Dorothy was cheating on him, and that's why he did it. But people think it was just a lot of people think it was just some type of obsession, that there was never any relationship. That this relationship was just in his, his head. Past bedtime podcast. Is the lab in here right now? We didn't even have answering machines for the most part. Yeah, they never figured out who was stalking the parents, like calling them, who was stalking her. This person would call her work and be like, you're wearing, jeans and a t-shirt, and she was the secretary there, so she didn't work like the cash register or anything. She was in the back. Obsessive love disorder is a condition that causes you to experience obsessive feelings you might mistake as love for another person. A person with obsessive love disorder will indulge in these feelings, regardless if they're reciprocated or not. Hey, Wild Mountain Honey. I'm doing better. Thank you, Ina. Maybe he worked at the hospital, 11 p.m. at shift change. Someone was obsessed before and after. Rotary, yep. Sounds like the person put a camera somewhere. I don't think they had that type of stuff. Ask Josh to come up on panel. I don't think he's... Was it... What is this? Yes, that's it. That's where she worked, Jen F. Swingers Psych Shop. It was like a head shop. So the two places Swingers, I think, was the main. Well, she worked at both of them, as far as I could tell, and that from my research, she worked at Swingers Psych Shop and she worked at General John's. And one was like, you know, they were both kind of similar. Swingers was the one that was co-owned by her father at one point, at least. And, you know, they were both similar type of shops. Like one was like, you could buy like bongs and stuff like that. But they were a little bit different in some ways, I guess. So what is a head shop? Yeah, it's like where you buy bongs and stuff. Good night, Blue Eyes. Yes, catnip. Yeah, like, you know, like the places you go and there's like those like psychedelic, like looking posters you can buy and hippie-ish type places. So is Swingers Psych Shop still around? I didn't even look into that. Yeah, rotary phones, the struggle was real. Yep. Head Shop is a retail outlet specializing in paraphernalia used for consumption of cannabis and tobacco and items related to cannabis culture. Which is really funny, though, that she worked at a place like that, because it sounds like she was totally not even about that type of life. She just, you know, went and worked and went home. She was a church member. She was all about her son. Yeah, and at first the cops didn't take it seriously because they thought that she was an adult and maybe she just took off. Bowls, vapes, wraps, t-shirts, all the goodies. He told me about it. Oh no, don't tell me my freaking... Shows my computer's frozen again. Let's see if it catches up. I don't know why it's doing this. I know, right, Susan? Okay, now it's finally... She worked in that kind of shop, but led a boring church and work only life. Yep. Yeah, her dad owned it at one time. That's the reason. Her son was at her parents' house. He always stayed at her parents' house while she was working. And she worked all the time, like nonstop. Yep. Yes, the coworker's brother was obsessed with her, and that's who the son thinks did it. Yes. That was Mike Butler, the older man that I showed the picture of. which that Mike Butler guy had an interesting background. He had quite the background, military. I don't know if he just saw too many crazy things in the military and it made him go crazy or what, but he did have an impressive background. But it is said that the son, Sean, believes that Mike Butler is the one that murdered his mom. Of course, at the time, he was only 4 years old, but I imagine he has talked to a lot of people about his mother's death. And yeah, except the fact that he would he would call and tell her things like he was going to chop her up so nobody would find her and stuff like that. So when do you take these type of threats? Like, I wonder if she ever made a police report. In all my research, I didn't hear that she ever made any type of report or anything. You think the creepy guy did it? Well, it's definitely the creepy guy. Like the guy calling. I would think it's definitely the guy that was calling her. That's what I would like to know too, Heidi. Where is his son today? That's another thing that I couldn't find anything about. Or that I didn't. I mean, I didn't. Let's see. His name was Sean. And he would be like 42 today. Where is Dorothy Scott's son, Sean Scott, today? I'm not sure. I don't think it really. I never ran into that when I was doing my research. Heidi said she's researching. I think the obsessed coworker was Huckleberry Hippie, but could be wrong. Huckleberry Hippie? A gorgeous full moon? Okay. Dorothy would be in her 70s. Yeah, at the time she was 32, so add my age on top of that, really, because she was, if she 84, I was born in 81, so we'll just round and say 70, yeah. About 70 should be. It's completely possible that an obsessive would have followed her to the hospital. Yeah, they could have followed. That's why he was saying, like, oh, she was cheating on me. So maybe he, in his mind, he had this, like, fake relationship with Dorothy. And he took it as a betrayal, seeing her with another man. These calls were going on for 4 years. Right? Yeah, in 1980, early months of 1980 is when she started receiving. No, actually, no, it didn't go on for that long. It was only for a few months. I don't know why I was thinking 84 was when. I think it was 84 when her body was found. So actually, he was only stalking her for a few months, which is like a lifetime when you dealing with those type of calls with somebody telling you, like, oh, I know what you're wearing. and telling you what you did that day. Like, he would know if she went to like the grocery store. It reminds me of Rebecca Schaefer, the actress that was killed by an obsessed fan. He even knew that she changed scarves, like that she had on a black scarf and changed into a red scarf. She disappeared in 80. Yeah, so we even had, stalkers still made it happen back then, before Facebook and everything. It's scary now after listening to this. Lived 40 miles away. Wow. Oh, thank you, Nay. I didn't see that till now. I don't know when. Let's see. You sent it about 30 minutes ago. Sorry about that. I was paying attention to the presentation, but crazy obsessed neighbor, probably, or like, who would have been around this lady? It would have had to have been, I mean, if she didn't go anywhere but work and she worked in the back office where nobody saw her, you know, she went to church, could have been somebody from church, you know. Was John Lennon even killed by a stalker as well? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was way scary because it was all real life back then. If somebody knew what you were wearing back then, that's definitely. Nowadays, people can like do that and pretend or make you think they're, but you know, with social media and all that, there's several ways where people could find out like information like that without actually seeing you. Everyone cool had a stalker in the 70s, said Janark. Sounds like someone who really followed her and went unnoticed would be fairly easy caring for a small child or was around her anyways. Yeah, except her son didn't ever, you know, go to work with her or anything like that, but you should show the worst way to handle rejection. TikTok shows just how delusional people can be. Oh my gosh. Speaking of TikTok, guys, you guys got me freaking. You guys mentioned TikTok Live last night. And I was sitting there watching TikTok like all night. Seriously. Hey, Rennie. I already did that. You guys missed it if you're just coming in. I already did the whole, and we're just discussing the presentation on Dorothy Scott. Hold on. I was going to pull up TikTok. You know who I got into watching all night last night was Island Boys. Have you guys heard of those? Like, oh my God. Hey, do you guys know who Island Boys are? Island Boys hot. My daughter just said Island Boys hot. I don't know how to do. I forget how I got to the lives on my phone, but oh wait, there it is. So the heck? Here's I'm looking at a Dorothy Scott. Oops. Let me turn that down. I was looking at a TikTok that Candace Wells did. Had an ocean. I was like, where is she at? It was like from a long time ago, I think. When I was 5 or so, my much older sister and brother took me to my first concert rush in Blue Oyster Cult. Can you imagine the weed fumes in? Maybe that's why I'm goofy now. Hey, Diane Harlow. My screen name, like what, on TikTok? I don't even really use it. It's makeup. It looks like something I made. I don't know when I made it. It's an account I made for influencer because you have to have a TikTok sometimes. And it is Makeup Guru 33. But I don't really use it except to post for. I've actually never really got into TikTok except like recently. Oh, actually one of the Island Boys like girlfriend just like followed me. Because I was looking at her stuff. I don't know why her account's now private. Wasn't last night when I was looking at it because I don't know. Do you guys know who they are? I mean, I can't play their freaking. I can show you without playing the sound, I guess. Because in every single TikTok they do, they sing that Island Boy song. And I don't know, I just find them funny. I don't think that they're very talented. I'm sorry. No clue who the Island Boys are. They're like really. Trying to figure out how to turn off my. Here. Okay. Maybe if I turn my volume down all the way. Oh. Hold on 1 second. It's these clowns right here. And let me tell you, they look so stupid when they sing. They don't look like they should be Like, oh my God, he looks so dumb. Sorry, I can't help it. It's so stupid. Johnny Cash is good. However, these guys are not. And they're a disgrace to rap. They call themselves rappers. He's an Appalachian guy, don't forget. They look like they have tampons growing out of their head. It was so funny that you say tampons because I was reading somebody's comment and the guy said, my daughter just asked me, Daddy, why do they have tampons in their hair? Yeah, a second. Yeah. Took her car and had to leave. Followed her, took her car, and had to have left in his car in the lot. Oh, that's a good point. Like, where was his vehicle? That's true. He had to have left his car somewhere. Yeah, no camera in the parking lots back then. Let's see, what else type of stuff do these clowns have? Look at this guy. Ew, does he think he's sexy? Look at that look. Look at his eyes. He thinks he's sexy. They have arrest records. I know he got beat up. Not this one. This one's like the more normal one of the brothers. I guess they're like identical twins, I'm assuming. But the other brother, you could tell the difference because the guy with the red cross, he's like not as bad as the other guy, the other brother, I guess, with the eagle on his head. Because the guy with the eagle on his forehead, like, hits his girlfriend and stuff, supposedly. Look at these. Okay. Like, I don't. Okay, we get it. Stop. So, maybe it will show. So they're constantly on their TikTok singing that Island Boy song, but sometimes changing the words up. Can you imagine waking up to that in the middle of the night? I wouldn't know what to do, laugh or scream. And they always like do this, like they look so stupid showing their grills. Trying to find one where they're what is going on? The Island Boys said they didn't want to have sex with Gabe, so he started talking shit. Oh, this is before he got the red cross on his forehead. Oh, here's the one that got his dreads pulled and hit in the face by his girlfriend. He started crying like a... It was really funny. They go by Island Boys. Kodiak Red is this one. Oh, and people give them shit because it says say they flex and that they say that those aren't their real vehicles. And it says rental in the back, so I don't understand why they want to. Anyways, sorry. I know people don't care about this. I just find them fascinating. I really do. I find those guys fascinating. You really shouldn't know that much info about them. I don't know any info about them. Yes, last night was the first night I ever seen these guys before ever. They call themselves Island Boys, and they're not even. They don't even live on an island, unless they call South Beach an island, which it is. But I don't know if they live on South Beach. I don't even think they live on. No, they live in like Coral Grove or something, which is around that area, I think. But I guess their dad is from Cuba, so. But they were born in the United States, so that what I hear from, I'm getting all this information from the comments of their videos. I don't know. I haven't like searched on Google or anything. They're rappers, I guess, Diane. They have a song called Island Boy. Which I don't know. I think it sucks. Okay. All right, Kristen. They look like the scary tree on Poltergeist. The world has gone to shit, says Ocean Angel. Yeah, Blanca said that she took it wrong. Nicely done. I know that you're not a troll. I asked my daughter today, like I asked her, do you know who they are? She goes, yeah, it's hot. Or they're hot. I'm like, okay. Ew. Don't think you can call that a song. Did you look it up, Mama too? Puppy's doing good. See what America will do to your first generation. The Cubans aren't laughing. Yeah, that's fine, Jin P. Go for it. We know you. I know you want it nicely done. It's fine. Sorry about that. She didn't. Blanca has my best interest, and she didn't mean it. Like, but I do know that you're not a troll, so. My God, want to laugh on YouTube? Look up hard gay ramen. He is what? How are they hot? I don't know. I don't like. I would like to see. I don't know. Maybe they would be cute if they didn't have that hair and if they didn't have like. I don't know. That's like quite a big if. Well, can someone tell me what happened earlier? Did Ernie drop a bag of dildos to Candace? That's what I heard about that too. So what is going on with that? Is Ernie really in Tennessee or? No, I haven't yet, Pam O'Connor. I actually haven't, but I hope these island boys are making a lot of money for their mama. Why else would she let them look like this? You think she meant hot as in popular, not sexy? I don't know. From what I can tell, them people like do not like them. All the comments on their videos on TikTok are like all like 95% like people are like telling their joke, embarrassment. They get clowned everywhere they go, but they do have a lot of money. I get not like lots of money, I guess, but they have made a lot of money from I think they're like a one-hit wonder right now, aren't they? Ernie is staying with Tina. I've heard of this Tina person, but I don't know much about her. And I say that because I love Cuba and Sarah so much more artistic than that. I'm not sure if both their parents are Cubans, but I know one of them is. Did you find Prisoners live last night? I saw that one. Yeah, I saw one, but all they were doing was wrapping the comments, and I'm more interested in what they're all doing in jail, like in prison, and seeing like the inside of but they were just rapping, so I didn't watch them. You should watch people remake the video and dress up like them. Yeah. I have to actually, Heidi, if you want to come up real quick, I can send you the link. I could text you if you want to. I just have to get off here like really soon, like real soon. I have to be at an appointment like at 10 a.m. for my doctor's appointment, and it's 1 a.m. here right now. And it takes like an hour to get there, I think. Yeah, that's what the prisoners on TikTok were doing. We're wrapping the comments. Tina is on Ernie's panel often. I went to his and BK's videos and never had before. BK are all about Ernie. BK called the cops on Ernie today. As far as the dildos, I thought it was a joke, but I heard they called the cops on themselves, on each other, I guess. Are you not going to address 6 Up, then AB streaming your criminal history again, not being shitty, just asking? Oh, I didn't know that happened. I don't watch them. But I'm not like real worried about it. Good night, Ocean Angel. Don't count on starting a new Cuban Revolution. I don't know why they brought it up. It's so old news, though, because Benny already exposed all that, really. And I actually told you guys all about it before any of that stuff came out. If it was something like There's nothing that's super exciting about it, about my background. So it really doesn't bug me at all. Honestly, I'd pull it up right now for you guys, actually, if you wanted me to. Oh my god, a bag of dildos, the island boy's hair. Anyone else getting a crazy idea? They need money, right? Okay, I will stop. Sorry, don't cry me. Come for me. Puppy cam. Yeah, Pam, it's okay. Yeah, well, there's nothing really to like address about it. Puppers is doing good. I think her worms are gone. Let me see where she's at. Stop. Give her back. Okay. Trying to like not disturb her. I brought her blanket with her that she was laying on. I don't know. It didn't work very well. Come on, lay down. Just go ahead and stay there. Don't move. Don't move. Hold on. So she has one blue eye. You gonna look up Athena? That one eye you can see is really bright blue, but her other eye has changed. Look how big she is now. It's crazy. Oh, she's peeing, Caitlin. You better get to taking her out. What was that? Hold on, let me put her out real quick, guys. Oopsies. She was about to pee, Caitlin. You need to take her out. Yeah, she is so big. Actually, here. Oh, thank you, Brenda. She's so big now. Let me see if she actually did pee on the floor. I don't think she did. She was about to. Hold on, you can't chew on that. That's not good. She actually did not, but hold on. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna take her outside. Okay, sorry about that. Luckily, it was a false alarm. It looked like she was about to pee, though. That's what I get for waking her up, though. I would have deserved it. We all have, and it's ridiculous that people feel the need to continually bring it up. They only do that because they can't find any real dirt on you, you know. They should get over it. I know. I don't understand like showing that. So what all was shown though besides the criminal record? Was there anything else? Cuz I'm not really concerned about that. I've already told you guys I've had DUI and possession of marijuana. It's really nothing new. Well, I know, I know, I'm the one that woke her up. No, she didn't have an ex-husband. She had the father of her son, he was actually ruled out as a suspect because he was in Missouri. It's to make you feel uncomfortable. You didn't do that to any of them. It's sadistic and childish. Yeah. Domestic assault charge. I don't have a domestic assault charge. Wait, what? A domestic assault charge against my ex? Who? A domestic assault charge? I don't have an... Oh, she had an ex-husband somebody found? There was no domestic assault charge, but... I don't think it was you. I think it was someone named Lynn. Yeah, that's not me. How would... No. Oh, I took out a protection against... yeah, I did do that. I did do that. How is that content gossiping about a female protecting themselves against a partner or someone? Yeah, I don't know. It's very strange. That like has been, oh shit, 15 years ago, 16 years ago, a long time ago. She's just, I don't know, Eden. Some people need to realize how truly, truly weird their obsession with Ziggy's past makes them look. Well, it's not like just my past, it's just an obsession like with me altogether, you know? Especially when I'm like, you know, I just told them, and it's well known that I said I wasn't going to be discussing them anymore. You know, so I don't get it just shows that they're what they're about. That's all I can say. She's such a great researcher that she couldn't even figure out your daughter wasn't born for your DUI. She's rather. Yeah, that was before my daughter was even like thought of. The article I'm reading, the author has become close friends with her son. Oh, did you want to text me the article or? Let's see. Read Heidi's comment. Yeah, she said she was reading a comment or reading a story. Tell them to compare their criminal history with yours. It's weird that they would do that considering aren't they supposed to be against like domestic violence and stuff? Let's see that. When I typed it in, it said it does not exist. The blog on. Oh, okay. So this guy from Crime Blogger 1983 has been in touch with Dorothy Scott's son. That is interesting. Let me see how I can. Oh, thank you. Sorry, Ziggy, they drag you through so much. Hang in there. Thank you, Botanica. Yeah, Botanical. Actually, like, that's pretty serious. And I'm going to have to go because I have to do something because that's very, actually, the more I think about it, it's pretty serious. Josh never came back. Six Up had plans to release the info since last week. Somebody came into chat last week and said Six Up was threatening to release info about you and Tiffany's chat. She's obsessed. Yeah. No, I'm okay. I just have to take care of some stuff because that's definitely not okay. So hopefully, I know some people got that link earlier from 6ups. See. For coffee to fight evil. Thank you, Botanical. All right, guys. Hey, Melissa Bax. No, Shorty. It's just she has an appointment in the morning, and she does school from online. So yeah, somebody's been in contact with Dorothy Scott's son, crime blogger 1983. If you go to his, just type in crime blogger 1983. The link's on my phone, so it's hard to. Good night, guys. I will. I have to get to sleep. But I will see you definitely tomorrow night. So I will talk to you guys soon.